expected to be in Detroit over the next 2 days to remember the Queen of Soul. On Thursday, more than 20 artists will take the stage to honor the legendary singer. Franklin will be laid to rest on Friday with a limited service with close family and friends.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Aretha Franklin did not have a will or trust.
Right.
Despite some requests from her attorney.
So we want to know what happens now. We turn to our dear friend Craig Ashton with some answers, hopefully, some insight.
Yeah, definitely. So usually we're talking about celebrities behaving badly, and at least now we have a person that should be celebrated.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, not having a will, especially when you have this much in assets, not a very good idea. I mean, especially if you got a favorite, let's say niece that you want to give your rocking chair to. If you don't have a will, then it's very difficult to understand where those things go. So when you don't have a will, it's called intestate succession.
Okay.
There's rules against perpetuity, statute of frauds, intestate succession. It's kind of like the Shakespearean area of the law because you kind of need a translator, even as a lawyer, to kind of figure out some of the arcane references that they make, and it goes into probate court. So if you do not have a will, then it's basically intestate succession, which means that if you're married, husband goes first. If you're not married, then your children.
Okay.
If you don't have children, then your parents. If you don't have parents, then your cousins. If you don't have any
keep going down
cousins,
the
and you
line.
get uncles and aunts. So it will go that way. So the hard part is that when you have assets that are this significant and you don't have a will, which is, hey, I'm dying, this is what I will my personal stuff to go to. And these are the people that I want it to go to. So it's not atypical. My dad used to work for Hughes Air West. And when Howard Hughes died, they didn't know what to do with the airline. And my dad was an executive with the airline, and they didn't have a will. So it took years to figure it out. And we were going to end up moving to, I think, Minnesota. With public airlines, and we ended up staying as a result of the way the will shook out. So it's super important in California. Hey, guess what? All you need is, it can be handwritten. You just need 2 witnesses. Doesn't need to be notarized, and that's your will.
So it doesn't need to be notarized. It just
does not.
two actual witnesses.
Just 2 witnesses. That's it.
Okay.
Super simple.
If I were to write something right now, as long as I have 2 of these folks.
I like that bracelet.
Thank you.
So if you're going to do that,
You want to leave that to him?
Exactly. I'll send you the video just so you remember when you're doing this later. Yeah, so you can handwrite it, and 2 people, not family members. So you, and they have to be over 18. So your children aren't able to do that because they haven't reached what's called the age of majority. But it's super simple. And if you do have a lot of stuff, and you really want like that bracelet to go to me, I mean, it's important. That, I will is
very specific.
Well, what's the difference between a will and a living trust? There's different options.
Yeah, the living trust is a nice thing to do because you know where everything's going before you die. So my parents were smart about it where they put our names on titles, so to property, they had our names on bank accounts, so we didn't have to go through the probate court because automatically those things just transferred to us.
Yeah.
So basically a living trust is just before you die where everything's going, and everybody understands that the transfer of assets will be very easy at the time of your passing.
Interesting.
Well, I know my grandmother, she just said, put your name on that thing you want.
Yeah.
Does that count?
That's how she said it. Just
Well,
like
that could be a contract. So if those things are happening, you can videotape that, and then you could bypass the will because that's an oral contract to transfer personal property. It doesn't work for real property; those have to be in writing. But personal property, you could do it for sure.
And is there a monetary value that you put on things? For example, Aretha Franklin obviously has millions in assets. Is it harder to say, let me just write this little thing with 2 people as a witness? If you've got that much money, as opposed to normal people like
it's a super good question. So I mean, if you got a lot of stuff and you got to have a will, and then you want to go through probate. It's just a lot easier. When my dad passed, I'm a lawyer, but I don't really understand these things, and I hired a lawyer to go through the probate stuff. My brother was living in Asia, so he left it all to me, and ultimately, even somebody as sophisticated as I am, practicing law for 25 years, it can become confusing. So if there are a lot of assets, get yourself a probate attorney. If you need a for referral, you can call our office, and we have a great guy in Roseville, Ernie Tuttle, who can help you.
It's so important to do because it can cause problems.
Yeah,
the family.
you're going to be gone, but everybody else is going to be fighting over the bracelet.
Right.
But you've already claimed it. We figured that out.
Exactly.
I know you longer than Craig knows.
That's true. I mean, I won't step in the way.
Craig, always great to see you.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much. I feel like I learned something there. Normally on the show, I don't. All right, it's